What is it that you are actually seeking?
The mysterious stranger asks the seeker.
I don't know.
Responds the seeker.
I just want answers. Like, why are we even here? What is our purpose? It just all seems so meaningless, and I kinda hope that there is an answer. That there is something out there. Some explanation. What is the meaning of life? Is there a God? Is there life after death? Is there any hope for us? Is my life?
The seeker struggles to finish their sentence. They gather all their courage and ask,
Is my life important at all?
The mysterious stranger raises up his head towards the sky.
I know it's tough, this feeling of meaninglessness. We are living in the era of nihilism, the age of sorrow, and within us, there's this deep longing for something that is lost. Did you ever hear it, Seeker? Have you ever listened to the question asked deep within the heart of every human being? Beyond all limiting beliefs, beyond words and thoughts? Listen closely, for the melody of your heart is asking, who am I? You know, we have played this game since millennia. We have searched behind every tree, looked under every stone, and illuminated every cave. But no matter how far we traveled, no matter how long it took us, we haven't found it. I say it's time to answer this question. We have been seeking long enough. Let us finally find it, the answer. Let us go within, because there it was always hidden.
What do you mean by go within?
Asks the seeker, confused.
Like, how should this help me to answer my questions?
The mysterious stranger sighs disappointed.
So you didn't get the joke about the man with the mohawk haircut after all. I really hoped it'd make you laugh. Poured quite some effort into it. But anyway, let me tell you one thing. We will find it. The answer. We will finally end the eternal seeking and open up the next chapter in the book of humanity. I know it's hard to believe, but we will find the answer. It might take a while, but we'll get there. That's my promise to you.
Then explain to me.
Demands the seeker.
If it's supposed to be so easy to find the answer, why haven't we found it until now? What is blocking us from finding it?
The mysterious stranger grins.
Why are we blind to the beauty within all things? What is hindering us from projecting unconditional love into the world? Why can't we shine the brightest light, illuminate the world with our source of being? Why are we so limited? The great challenge, hindering us from realizing the truth of our being, is called the ego. This is what has led us astray from our highest path, our natural way of life. Driven by the ego, we are blinded by our fears and desires, running away from pain and hunting after pleasure. Many people have given the ego different meanings, different definitions, but to keep it as simple as possible, the ego is a complex thought structure built from memories and ideas. The ego is nothing physical. It is a mental in nature. A mental concept that separates the I from the you. It separates the observer from the observed. It is the cause of our separation, the root of our selfish behavior, the core of our illusions. The ego, as the center of our thoughts, is instilled in us from a young age. It has shaped our civilizations, systems, and ideologies.
The seeker stares confused at the mysterious stranger, trying to grasp the meaning of his words.
I don't understand what you are trying to tell me.
The mysterious stranger scratches his chin, thinking about another way to explain it.
Ever seen one of these horror movies where people are infected by some swarm intelligence? It's quite ironic if you think about it. In real life, it is actually the other way around. Your natural state of being is in connection with the rest of the world. But due to the ego, you live in the illusion of separation, which causes suffering, conflicts, wars, global crises, murder, greed, violence, pollution. The list goes on and on. Now, this doesn't mean that the ego is something inherently evil or some kind of parasite that controls people's minds. No, the ego has its purpose in our lives. There is a reason why the ego exists. The ego is a challenge that you are supposed to overcome. The ego is an obstacle that you need to leave behind. It is the stepping stone for our human evolution. And our inability to overcome it until now has led us into the current state of human society. Our inability to face it causes problems on an individual as well as on the collective level. To be fair, in our primeval times, it was the ego that has allowed us humans to climb up the food chain. The ego, as a survival mechanism, has protected us throughout the last ages. Due to the ego, humanity reigns today supreme on Earth. Our architectural, cultural, and societal achievements were driven by the ego. Nevertheless, the ego remains the root cause of all selfishness. Today, the power of the ego is as strong as it has never been before in the entirety of human existence. It corrupts all institutions, all organizations, all nations. As long as we are driven by the ego, we will remain unable to find what we truly seek. True bliss can only be felt when the ego is not. True love can only flower when the ego is not. To find peace and beauty, one must let go of the ego, because that, what we truly are, is beyond all limitations. Do you now understand what this is all about? We need to look beyond the ego to find ourselves, our true self, not limited by thought. We must overcome the ego and find that which we have lost a long time ago. Our love in its purest form, undiluted, uncorrupted. That is why we need to change on a personal level. Each person, one at a time. The ego is a prison that keeps you from finding. These shackles have bound us for far too long, but you need to do the steps yourself. You see, no one can free you. You can only free yourself.
I don't need to change.
Shouts the seeker offended.
And I don't want to change. Why should I? I'm perfectly content with myself. It's not my fault that the world is going downhill, and it's not my responsibility to do anything about it. I am living an honest life, working hard and doing my best to take care of the people in my life. Not long ago, I gave a pretty high tip at the restaurant, and there was this homeless guy. I donated some money to.
Tell me, seeker,
Requests the mysterious stranger calmly.
are you truly living the best life that you can possibly experience? Are you truly walking on your highest path?